At Incheon International Airport, chaos turned into silence when BTS's Jin broke down in hysterical tears in the arms of Jungkook, leaving ARMY and bystanders frozen in disbelief. What could have driven the worldwide star, famed for his composure, humor, and unshakable image, to a public collapse of such magnitude? Why did Jungkook, the youngest member of BTS, suddenly become the shield and comforter for the group's eldest in front of thousands of eyes and relentless cameras? The scene was raw, unfiltered, and shocking, and it has since spiraled into one of the most talked about moments in BTS's history, igniting questions that remain unanswered. The hysteria of Jin's tears was unlike anything fans had witnessed before. BTS members have cried on stage, during encores, or at award shows, but those tears were often tied to milestones, celebrations, or the collective emotion of the group. This moment was different. It was not rehearsed, not lit by stage lights, not cushioned by the safety of performance. It was real, visceral, and deeply unsettling. Jin, often celebrated as the group's worldwide handsome with an ever-ready smile, could not hold back sobs that shook his body. His tears poured into Jungkook's shoulder as the youngest held him tightly, attempting to shield him from the gaze of fans and cameras, but nothing could mask the devastation etched on Jin's face. Witnesses described the atmosphere at the airport as transformed instantly from the usual frenzy into a heavy, suffocating silence. ARMY, who had arrived to greet the idols with cheers and chants, suddenly found themselves rooted in shock. The screams stopped. The excitement dissolved. All that remained was the piercing sound of Jin's uncontrollable sobbing. Many fans admitted they themselves began to cry, overwhelmed by the depth of what they were seeing. The bond between idol and fandom blurred in that moment, as the pain of one was felt by all. It was not simply Jin who was breaking down, it was ARMY breaking down with him. The imagery of Jungkook holding Jin as he wept carried profound symbolism. For years, Jin has been the eldest, the caretaker, the steady presence who comforts his younger members. He has been a shield, the one to lighten the mood with jokes, to protect with quiet strength. Yet here, before the entire world, the roles reversed. Jungkook, often seen as the one being looked after, became the one providing comfort. He embraced Jin tightly, whispered to him, and tried to steady his trembling frame. This reversal not only startled fans but also underscored the unshakable bond between the two, revealing the fragile humanity behind their polished public personas. The question that lingers is what triggered such a breakdown. Was it the crushing weight of fame, the unending scrutiny, the suffocating expectations, or something more personal hidden from public view? Some speculate it was the culmination of months of stress, while others argue that the sight of so many fans may have unleashed years of suppressed emotion. What is certain is that Jin's tears were not momentary. They were hysterical, uncontrollable, and painfully raw, suggesting that the emotions had built up far beyond what he could carry alone. ARMY's reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Across social media platforms, messages of support and love flooded timelines. Yet underneath the encouragement lay deeper concern. If Jin, known for his strength, resilience, and ability to keep composure, could unravel so completely, what does that mean for the group as a whole? What burdens have they been carrying in silence, hidden from even their most loyal fans? And why, at this moment, did it finally break through in such a public, irreversible way? These are the questions now circulating endlessly, without clear answers. The global impact of the event cannot be overstated. Within hours, images and clips of the airport incident spread worldwide, dominating headlines and sparking countless debates. Analysts, fans, and observers alike attempted to dissect the meaning behind Jin's tears. Was it exhaustion? Pressure? Fear? Or was it a release of emotions that had been suppressed for far too long? The hysteria of his breakdown stood in stark contrast to the carefully curated images usually projected by K-pop idols, shattering the illusion of invulnerability that so often surrounds them. The airport, a place usually filled with noise, travel, and fleeting encounters, became a stage of vulnerability. Jin's tears turned the mundane into the monumental, transforming a routine appearance into a moment that will be etched in ARMY's memory forever. The rawness of the event challenges the way fans, media, and the public at large view idols. No longer could Jin be seen only as the unshakable figure of worldwide stardom. He was revealed as a human being under unbearable strain. Jungkook's role as protector in this moment deepened the emotional weight. For ARMY, the image of the youngest holding the eldest was both heartbreaking and profound. It symbolized the depth of their relationship, one that transcends the superficiality of performance and fame. Jungkook did not hesitate. He did not waver. In the face of chaos, he became the shield, embodying the very strength that Jin had so often given to others. This gesture resonated deeply, amplifying the emotional charge of the scene and further embedding it into the collective consciousness of fans worldwide. The hysteria of Jin's sobbing has left fans unsettled. For many, it was a reminder that idols, despite their glamorous image, are human beings grappling with unimaginable pressures. For others, it was a wake-up call to the emotional costs of global fame, a reality often hidden behind flawless performances and carefully managed appearances. Whatever the interpretation, the tears at Incheon Airport have forced ARMY and the wider public to confront the reality that BTS, despite their strength as a unit, are not immune to breaking down under the weight of expectation. What remains now are questions that hang heavy in the air. Was this breakdown an isolated incident, or the beginning of something deeper? Will ARMY ever know the true reasons behind Jin's hysterical sobbing, or will it remain an unresolved mystery, forever tied to that day at Incheon? The lack of clarity only amplifies the intensity of the moment, leaving fans clinging to the images of Jungkook's arms wrapped around Jin, the sound of sobs echoing through the airport, and the sight of ARMY themselves overcome with tears. This was not a performance, not a staged moment for cameras. It was unfiltered humanity, breaking through the polished exterior of global stardom. And perhaps that is why it has shaken so many. Jin's hysterical tears in Jungkook's embrace were more than just a personal breakdown. They were a revelation, a reminder, and a warning all at once. They revealed the hidden weight carried by those in the spotlight. They reminded fans of the fragile humanity behind the glamour. And they warned of the cost of unrelenting pressure, a cost paid not in headlines or numbers, but in tears that refused to stop falling. The world will not forget what happened at Incheon. The image of Jin, hysterical and broken, clinging to Jungkook as thousands of eyes watched, has become a symbol etched into the collective memory of ARMY. Whether remembered as a cry for help, a release of unbearable weight, or simply an unguarded moment of humanity, it stands as one of the most powerful and haunting scenes in BTS's history. And until the truth behind those tears is revealed, the questions will continue to echo, as relentless as the sobs that filled the airport that day.